Hello everybody, this is Allshouse Gaming and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut. In the previous episode, we descended into the sewers to stop the mercenaries from blowing up the entirety of the Kruez Basar. And then, once that was done, we returned to our hideout to try and give Paul a proper funeral. Before we move on, I'd actually like to take care of getting everybody their level 6 abilities, because we couldn't get them until then. For Iger, we have access to Speed Loader. Iger gains an ability that reloads all of our equipped weapons for 0 AP, but it has a cooldown of 7 turns. There's also Sniper Rifle Specialist 3. Iger gains an ability that can target 2 enemies in one action. Costs 1 AP, cooldown 3. I think Speed Loader might be the more useful of the two, so I think I'm going to go for that. For D-Trick, we have Dragon Slayer's Wrath or Dragon Slayer's Shield, both of which, first of which replaces the Dragon Slayer's Idol, the other augments it. Dragon Slayer's Wrath. The Dragon Slayer now harms all foes within 3 directions of D-Trick for 16 damage. On subsequent R&Ds, rounds, I'm guessing, targets take 5 HP damage and 1 AP damage. Not bad. Or there's the Shield. Dietrich's Idol grows more powerful, decreasing incoming damage by an additional 2 points, costs 1 AP, radius 3, duration 3. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really use the Dragon Slayer's Shield all that much, but having this, on the off chance he gets surrounded by enemies, might not actually be a bad idea. So I think I'm gonna go for Dragon Slayer's Wrath. As for Glory, we get access to either Trauma Specialist, which gets her a Platinum Trauma Kit on each mission, or she replaces her pistol with a revolver. Glory carries a custom Ruger Super Warhawk revolver with hand-machined armor-piercing ammo. 14 damage, 6 capacity, 4 armor pierce. That's not bad. But she's also still only carrying around a basic trauma kit because we passed up the gold one for her premium med kits. So I think I'm going to actually grab Trauma Specialist because, to be honest, we only use her pistol when we really need to. As for Blitz, we get 2 new abilities. An augment to his decking of pain suppression. While Blitz is jacked into the Matrix, attacks on his physical body are reduced by 3 damage. Not bad. But more often than not, I find that enemies are often targeting the other party members rather than Blitz. So, not sure it's all that necessary. We also got an upgrade to Mark Target. Integrated Tactical Computer marks weak points in an opponent's armor. Blitz's Mark Target ability now reduces the target armor by 2. I think I'm actually going to go for Nova Hot targeting. Let's confirm everything. And, yeah, our allies are as powerful as they're going to get. I've also got about 10 karma that I have yet to spend, but I want to hold off on that for reasons I'm not getting into just yet. Alright, Dante. Let's see, Dante lifts his head and looks up at you mournfully. The feral aggression is gone from his eyes. He's changed, you can see it, but he's still Dante. So, Talia, Dante was very helpful out there, but I am a bit concerned about his ability to petrify people that he doesn't like and then rend their flesh with tooth and claw. Yeah, that bothers me too. He's not a normal dog, not by a long shot. Is he possessed? I assume you've checked his aura and discovered he's part hellhound. Monica trained him for months to be combat ready. We had a hellhound in the house, and Monica didn't tell us. For months. Talia has him under control. Dante performed well in the field, followed commands flawlessly. I have no concern. Well, Dante stays with me. Where I run, he runs. Or, nah, let's go more friendly. Welcome to the team, Dante. Alright, now let's finally check this chip we got. Let's see, have an unread message. Well, that can wait. Read the contents of Alice's optical chip. You slot the optical chip into the computer's waiting chip jack. On the screen, Alice's office blossoms into view. Half a second later, a real-time simulation of Alice appears seated behind her mahogany desk. Something about her reminds you of a figure from a wax museum, lifelike but dead inside. It greets you with a facsimile of Alice's joyless smile. Half a second. Customer name, Talia. Its voice is hollow, synthetic, an automaton masquerading as a living woman, one you've never met in the flesh. Account number 1012579. Greetings, valued customer. I am an offline simulacrum of the Alice persona. I have been included on this chip to answer any questions that you might have about your information purchase. Nifty piece of tech. Not now, Blitz. If you are ready to proceed, I will present Alice's findings. You may interrupt this presentation at any point by saying, Alice, I have a question. Is that the only thing you'll respond to, or can I talk to you like a normal person? The simulacrum hitches slightly. You may interrupt this presentation at any point by saying, Alice, I have a question. That answers that. We're ready. Let's get this show on the road. Very well. Commencing presentation. The simulacrum goes rigid for a moment, then seems to relax. When it speaks, it sounds more natural, as though the real Alice is speaking through it. Alright, Talia. I've got good news for you, and I've got bad news. Let's start with the good news. I found Vauclair, and he's alive. Thank God. The trail to your missing doctor was a long and slippery one. The fee that you paid me barely covered my costs for the job. I sent a team into the Sox on a fact-finding mission. I bribed government officials, I greased the palms of wage slaves at megacorps all across Europe. Each step I took eliminated possibilities, drew me a little bit closer. And finally, I found the place where Vauclair is being held. 1 second, just got a text message. The simulacrum makes a sweeping gesture with its right hand, and an image switchblades onto the screen, a grainy overhead photograph annotated with map coordinates. You recognize it immediately. This is where you'll find him. He's being held captive at a remote estate called the Harfeld Manor. You've got to be kidding me. He was there the whole time? Gloria says nothing. She just studies the photograph and nods. Okay, nobody tell me. I get it. This is something else that I missed. Alice, I have a question. The simulacrum hitches again, and you can feel the life drain out of it. It looks up at you robotically. You have a question. You have a question. Alright, please make your inquiry now. You said that Vauclair is being held at the estate. What evidence did you turn up to support that? One of my assets at Transys Neuronet provided me with a video feed dated 2053-1010. The feed was taken by a corporate surveillance drone. Playback commencing. The screen is filled with a grainy black and white video feed. You recognize the Harfeld Manor, photographed from high above. The camera pushes in and the image sharpens. Through a barred ground-level window, you can see the shape of a stooped, emaciated figure. His body shows clear signs of neglect. The figure is unmistakable. It's Vauclair, 20 years older and worse for wear. His skin hangs loose on his bones and his cheeks are hollow. There is a distinctly gray pallor to his skin. That's Vauclair, all right. What's left of him, anyway. Doesn't look like they've been feeding him much. Shakes his head. Poor bastard. Another figure steps into frame behind Vauclair. An orc. He turns his head slightly and his skin grafts catch the light. Vauclair slowly turns to face Audrin and the video feed cuts out. The simulacrum stares at you impassively. Do you have another question? What else did you turn up about the Harfeld Manor? Seismological data and thermal imaging confirms the existence of a large hollow chamber under the estate. It is my suspicion that Dr. Vauclair is being held somewhere within this substructure. If Feuerschwing's kept Vauclair trapped there for almost 20 years, she's got to have a reason for it. It takes effort and resources to lock a man away for that amount of time. So what's her endgame in all this? Why not just kill him and be done with it? Malice? Revenge? Who knows? Remember, this was the man who shot her down. He sent her crashing into a radioactive wasteland. If somebody did that to me, I'd want to hurt him. 2. And I'd make it last. I think it goes deeper than that. According to Winter's DVD, Vauclair designed the experimental weapon that shot her down. And that weapon split her body from her essence. Glory glances down at her own steel and chrome arms and suppresses a shudder. If I had to guess, I'd say that she's trying to make him fix whatever he did to her. That makes sense to me. There is a moment of silence as the group processes Glory's suggestion. Before anyone can speak, the simulacrum cuts back in. Do you have another question? No more questions. Let's get on to the bad news. 1 second, getting a phone call. Okay, sorry about that. Very well. Feel free to interrupt again with any future inquiries. Simulacrum pauses, and a brief tremor washes over its body. Its eyes flutter, and you can hear the sound of your computer working to process more of the chip's data. Iger turns to address the team. If Valclair is at Harfeld, we've got problems. Last time we broke into that place, they took Monica out. It was a miracle that any of you got out alive. Yeah, but now we know what's down there. This time we'll be prepared for it. We can handle this. Plus, we are far higher leveled and have much better gear to help us get through it this time. Iger shakes her head. No, it'll be even worse this time. First time we went in, we had the element of surprise on our side. But now, they'll be expecting us. They're hunting us, remember? Their security team is going to be waiting for us, Dietrich. That Kruez Basar is going to be waiting for us. Even if we make it past them, we're going to have to deal with the dragon in the basement. What else can we do? Cut and run? Last time I checked, that wasn't an option either. Even if it were, I wouldn't take it. I'm not running from this. Not after what they did here tonight. None of us are glory. But Iger's right. We can't just go charging in there again. Not without some kind of edge. The simulacrum jerks back to life. It resumes speaking, blissfully unaware of the conversation that it's cutting off. And now, Talia, on to the bad news. You know where Valclair is, but rescuing him will not be possible. Alice, I have a question, he continues without waiting for a response. Why the hell not? In the course of my investigation, I encountered something terrifying in the Matrix. It was fast, cunning, and very definitely intelligent. I'm convinced that I only escaped because it let me go. It could have killed me in a heartbeat if it wanted to. This thing that I met is protecting the Harfeld Manor, and it's going after anyone who gets too close to what's happening there. Alice, what did you see in there? What's going after these people? By way of explanation, I would like you to read the following document. The simulacrum makes another sweeping gesture, and the menu slides back onto the screen. This time, it is filled with text. What you're looking at is an archived forum discussion from the early days of the Shadowland BBS. Blitz stares at the text on the screen. It isn't kidding, Chief. This discussion is dated back to 2036. That's ancient history in the decking community. Probably isn't even correct to call these guys deckers. Hackers would be the more appropriate term. When you're finished reading it over, say, Alice, I'm done and we can continue. Read the archive discussion. As you lean in to read, the text slowly begins to scroll up from the bottom of the screen. You all hear about the SK team that got crisped a few hours ago? A whole lab's worth of researchers. All burned and broken beyond recognition. Ugly stuff. At this point, who hasn't? Power spike got them right through their data jacks, like a bolt of lightning to the brain. 1 in a million accident is what they're saying. And do you believe that? Got a more plausible explanation? Yes, actually, it was a cleanup operation. Color me intrigued. What were they cleaning up? A secret project that Lofweir didn't want anything to do with. You might have heard the rumors about it. The project was named Apex. And you've lost me. Apex, Clockwork, seriously? That old line of Drek? I'm telling you, jokers, Apex is real, or at least it was, until a whizworm pulled the plug. Come on, Clockwork, we're still decades away from seeing a fully functional AI, and you know that. Those Apex stories have been floating around. They're just some conspiracy nuts' wet dream. Fine, keep your heads in the sand. Some of us know the truth when we read it. Okay, Clock, I'll humor you, but riddle me this. If Lofweir had an armed and operational AI in his claws, why kill it? You remember what happened to most of Echo Mirage. Crash virus killed them, fried their brains, but I don't see what that has to do with anything. With the commercial release of the CDT-1000, some security firms are working on counter-intrusion software that could do the same thing. Black Ice? You can look it up if you don't believe me. Whoa, scary stuff, man. Well, the goal of the Apex project was even scarier. Ice waits for you to come in. Apex wouldn't be bound by those restrictions. It could go out hunting, hit its targets when they least expect it. That's why they call it Apex. It was designed to be the apex predator of the digital world. And so, rather than using it to his advantage, Lofweir decided to kill it in the cradle? The Whizworm's no fool. Some things are too dangerous to play around with. How would you put that genie back in its bottle back in the bottle if it ever slipped out of your control? Answer? You couldn't. And then it would take over the world! Okay, this thread has officially gone off the rails. I'm closing it down for the good of mankind. Slow scroll of text comes to a stop. Alice, I'm done. The simulacrum jerks back to life, then settles into a neutral pose. There are no official records in the Sator-Krupp database to support the existence of the Apex project, but the thing that I encountered was Apex. Of that, I am certain. Just as I am certain that Apex was responsible for the deaths of Monica Schaefer, Green Winters, Clockwork, Peregrine, and a score of other Deckers over the last 16 years. Blitzer raises his hand. Hold up. Alice, I have a question. I thought they said that Lofweir killed Apex. They speculated as much, yes. They were wrong on that count. I do believe that Sator-Krupp was developing Apex as a tool for Matrix warfare. I am also convinced that the IT personnel who were killed were the Apex development team. But I don't think that Lofweir was responsible for their deaths. Apex killed them. That'd be my guess, yes. In the turmoil surrounding Lofweir's buyout of the Sator-Krupp, a number of projects went missing. I believe that Apex was appropriated by a member of Feuerschwing's organization at this point. It was then unleashed on its own development team to silence them. Since then, it has provided information control for the Firewing. A pet AI would explain how Feuerschwing has managed to maintain her conspiracy and avoid detection for the past 2 decades. Anytime anyone gets close, the AI takes them out and scrubs the records clean. So there's your bad news, Talia. Valclair is being held at the Harfeld Manor, but knowing that does you no good because you can't approach the place. I doubt that you can open the door without Apex frying you. We did last time. They were trying to protect their secret. Like Aldrin said, if we hadn't gone down into the basement, they'd have let us go. Apex didn't react to us until Monica attempted to force the door to the basement. And now that the cat's out of the bag, they have no reason not to pull out the big guns on sight, Dietrich grimaces. You're right, we can't go back while Apex is in place. The room falls into silence. Finally, Iger turns to you. What's the play, Talia? We can't turn back now. If Apex is standing between us and Valclair, then we need to find a way to kill Apex. Fucking A, boss. I'm in. Did you hear that, Alice? Do you have any suggestions? The simulacrum hitches again. The pause stretches. Finally, it comes back to life. The AI has a kill switch, but Alice deemed any additional contact with Apex to be an unjustifiable risk. Attempting to reach the kill switch would be inadvisable. Save me the warnings. I'm going to kill this thing. I owe Monica that much. You and me both. Alice, tell us about Apex's kill switch. Simulacrum stares at you with dead eyes. Dead eyes. Thanks to my close encounter with the AI, I was able to run a trace on it. Through this trace, I discovered the physical address of a backdoor access point for Apex's programming, an old Sator-Krupp research lab, long since abandoned and fallen into disrepair. The facility is now hotly contested gang territory. I have also determined that a kill switch for the AI exists somewhere in the basement of this facility. I will provide you with a physical address. I don't like the smell of this, Chief. It's said that Apex let Alice escape. He turns to address the simulacrum on the screen. Alice, why would a Matrix warfare AI allow you to run a trace on it? It stares straight ahead. Its eyes are dead. I'm afraid that the answer to that question falls outside of the scope of my written parameters. Simulacrum stutters one final time, then looks up at you with an apologetic smile. You have now reached the end of this presentation. I have been encoded with a final message from Alice to Talia. Playback commencing. Simulacrum's eyes go wide and the life floods back into it. It stares directly at you. Talia, if you didn't listen to me before, listen to me now. Drop this. Stop going after Valclair. Get out of Berlin and stay out of the Matrix. I'm telling you this for your own good. That is all I have to say. I'm following my own advice. I'm out. Don't try to contact me again. Simulacrum reverts to its idle state, slumping like a puppet with its strings cut. Its eyes glaze over and its face goes slack. Then the screen cuts to black. So, the Dragon has a killer AI in charge of security. I can't say I'm surprised, but then nothing surprises me anymore. We know what killed Monica, we have a name for it, and we know how to kill it. That's good enough for me. We know what we have to do. We can either stand around talking about it, or we can go do it. Agreed. We shut down Apex, then we re-enter the estate and rescue Valclaire. He's the key to this whole thing. Sounds like a plan, boss. I still say that all of this is crazy talk, Chief. Taking on an AI isn't just a bad idea, it's suicide. So my vote is to cut and run. Blitz surveys the rest of the group, sees the determination in their faces, finally he sighs. But if you're really doing this, you'll want the best decker you can find along for the ride. And I guess that nominates me. Woo. Alice said that the kill switch is located in some old SK facility. Assuming that the site was shut down sometime after the Apex project disappeared, it could have stood empty for years, maybe decades. She also said that the building was in gang territory now. I wonder if it'll be anything like Das Kesselhaus was. God, I hope not. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's get prepped. This thing isn't going to kill itself. Blitz glances at you, the worry is painted all over his face. Can't believe I'm saying this, but you'd better bring me along. You try going up against an AI without a Nova Hot Decker at your side, and you're probably going to regret it. Iger begins her weapons check. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Whatever's there, we'll deal with it. First, we find our way into the basement. She peers through the scope of her sniper rifle, and then we kill the AI that killed Monica. Damn right. Team breaks to begin gearing up. As she slides a shell into her shotgun, Iger catches your eye. You did good out there, defending the Kruez Basar. You've had our backs the entire way. Made good decisions. In this job, we work together, or we die alone. Iger scowls and nods at the floor. Scowls at the floor, nods. True. You're right. Again. Anyway, we should get back to it. We've got an AI to take out, after all. She pauses for a moment, frowning. Talia, do me a favor and keep your eyes open on this one. We're walking into the unknown here. Makes me a little uneasy. Don't worry, Iger. I've got your back. She smiles, claps you on the shoulder. I know you do, and I've got yours. You've more than earned it. Let's get to work. Without another word, the troll slides her shotgun into the sheath on her back and turns to continue her pre-mission checklist. Now then, at this point, all of the merchants now have new and, well, let's face it, all the final gear that we're going to get on this mission. We're not going to be starting the mission, so, because we have to go around the different locations. Go around the Kruez Basar, check in with everybody, make sure they're all okay, and then buy up some gear. This is probably going to push it over the time limit, but I'd like to get that done so that we can go straight into the mission. Okay, Malit, let's talk to you. The attack was terrible, Talia. So much death, she shakes her head. I had not killed since I retired from running the shadows. Not until today. But you're not here to listen to me complain. She forces a smile. So what can I get you? Name it, and I will provide it. Just browsing. Oh, boy. I may as well check in on the cafe. Altug, how you doing? Turk is pale, his eyes sunken into his head, are ringed by dark circles. We're closed today, Effendi. I would have locked the door, but the lock is broken. Now I must stand guard. You look terrible, my friend. Tell me, what has happened? He rubs his hand across his mouth. During the attack on the Kruez Basar, they broke through the door, heavily armed, 2 of them. They broke through the door and just started shooting. No questions, no robbery, just shooting. Kami, my girl, my little street rat, they... He holds his hands over his face, collects himself. From what I've read online, there is supposed to be a means of saving Kami from being killed in the attack. But from other things that I have read, apparently the code for that is bugged out, and it is impossible to save her. I reached under the counter. I keep a gun there, you see, and they saw. Both of them turned on me. Goldschmidt, that fat idiot Goldschmidt, flung himself in my way. How he managed to move that great mass of a body so quickly is a mystery to me. He hung there, suspended in time as they shot him, dancing on their bullets as they ripped him apart. But he shielded me long enough, Effendi. I was able to get to my gun and end those sons of whores. Goldschmidt was your friend after all, eh? That is the thing of it, Effendi. All that time, all that bickering between us, I was serious. I couldn't stand the man, but he... Apparently it was something different to him. None of us will be the same after this. Still, it is good for us, I think. Healthy. It reminds us that, even though we have created our little island of stability in the Kruez Basar, this is still the flux state. Still Berlin. The wolf is always at the door. If we are to keep our home, we must be vigilant. And we need people like Monica, people like you, to keep it safe. Sag Olun, my friend. Be healthy. Be strong. Yeah. It's a damn shame what's happened here. Might as well at least check in with the talismonger, make sure he's okay. The elf behind the counter says nothing. She stands in silence, staring at you. You alright? I hope that you weren't hurt in the attack. One of the attackers came in here. Did you know that? He pushed his way past Algernon's wards and forced himself into the shop. He threatened us. Threatened me. You look okay. Did Algernon take care of him for you? There was no need. I handled the problem myself. Impressive. How did you manage that? I lifted the veil. I showed him my true face. I destroyed his mind. What the hell are you, Absinthe? Because I'm pretty sure that you're not an elf. No, I am not an elf. I am merely a passenger in this body, a guest here to experience what you would call life. As I have 1,000 times before. You lack the means to perceive what I really am. You do not possess the sight. All said, that is probably for the best. Your species is so very fragile after all. You're right, I don't have the sight, so tell me, what are you? Something beyond your understanding, a child of the astral plane, wild and free, unfettered by the bonds of servitude that chain so many of my kind. In truth, what I am should not concern you so much as what I know. Okay, I'll bite. Tell me what you know. Truths hidden from mortal eyes. In my time as an observer of this world, I have witnessed a great many things. Wonders and terrors beyond measure, the birth and death of nations, the rise and fall of gods. I have seen the ebb and flow of magic from the fourth world to the fifth to the sixth. I have watched in awe as the tides that carried wonder and miracle into the world of men. I have mourned as they were swept back out again. I have borne witness as the cycle began and ended and began itself anew. I have seen what came to at the end of the fourth world thousands of years ago, when ancient Thera crumbled into the sea. I saw the things that crawled in the carcass of that once great nation, vile, terrible things. Even now I can feel them. They drift on the tides of mana, hungrily awaiting the end of the sixth world, and the death of all that you know. I have seen what they will do when this world has run its course, Elf. They will rip the guts from your dying civilization, and they will feast upon your screams. Hold up. Who are they? Things born of nightmare. Horrors. The dark spaces between the metaplanes crawl with them. She looks into your eyes and you can feel your head swimming. Your kind fears what it can see. Corporations, dragons, violence and poverty, and the random cruelty of fate. If you could perceive reality the way that I do, you would know that there are much greater things to fear. If the world were an ocean, the hazards that you know might be sharks, dangerous creatures to be sure, and worthy of respect. But below them, in the silent deep, Leviathan circles. She turns away. Go now, Talia. Talk to Algernon. After all that has happened, I'm sure he'll be glad to see you. But remember what I've told you. I will. Ooh, that's some deep stuff. Algernon, you okay, buddy? Salutations, youngster. I believe that the Kruez Basar is still standing thanks to you. No big deal. Some people needed saving, and I saved them. I'm sure the task was effortless. I extend my appreciation nonetheless. Now tell me, how may I serve you? No, nothing else. Just wanted to check in on you. Make sure you're okay. I'll probably save Gunari Metbach for last, just because, well, that's where I'm going to go to purchase my gear. Actually, you know what? I'll check up on him now. See what maybe I'm going to need for requirements. Dahlia, I'm glad to see that you made it through the attack. Not all of mine were so lucky. Are you okay, Herr Metbach? No, I lost a niece today. But I'm doing a hell of a lot better than our attackers are. Those sons of bitches hit the wrong Kruez. Put 6 of them in the ground personally, and when I find out who they are, where they lived, he turns his head and spits. Ain't nothing gonna save those people. He shakes his head and turns his attention to you. But you didn't come here to listen to me rage. You're after a bit of payback yourself, I'll wager. So, what can I do to help you? I have cash and I need weapons. Show me the goods. Yeah, we got a bunch of new stuff. Let's check the outfits first and foremost. Armor 6, plus 10 HP. Okay, we could go for the Kevlar Line Trench Coat, which gives us a 9 armor and plus 1 body. Or we could go for the Camouflaged Full Suit. Gives us 8 armor, plus 1 to close combat, not necessary, but it also gives us plus 1 to ranged combat and plus 1 dodge, and I think that's what I'm going to take. As for weaponry, let's get down to the assault rifles, because that's what I'm here for. We have access to the Vindicator minigun, but that requires strength of 6. We also have an Ares Alpha that requires ranged combat of 8. This is by far going to be the best assault rifle we can get, as far as I know. Ares, top-of-the-line assault rifle. Its bullpup design allows for the accuracy of a long barrel in small something package. Well, I'm gonna grab it. Hopefully, it'll count the the ranged combat towards that. Let's see. All right, let's switch over to our camouflaged full suit. And let's see if I can't equip our new assault rifle. If I can find it. Oh, right. Well, let's take off the FNHAR. And yes, we can, because normally we wouldn't be able to equip it without the extra ranged combat, which is good, which means I can save my karma for something else. Okay, let's see, we're taking care of that. Zach Flash is still alive, that's good to know. That was crazy, mein Freunden. Bullets flying, people dropping like flies. Crazy. Old Zach had to use his magic on a few of them. See that puddle over there? Yeah, I was one of them. Attacker, thy name is Goo. That doesn't look like a bloodstain. Looks more like somebody spilled his drink. He rolls his bugged-out eyes. Yeah, sure, that's what it looks like to you. If you had the sight, you'd know better. Anyway, what can old Zach get for you? What's up with the bandages on your hands? Oh, no, we've already done that. Yeah, look, I gotta run. See you later on. Alright, Samuel, how you doing? Talia, what a relief it is to see you alive. Samuel wraps you in an enormous hug. You should know that your generosity has saved dozens of lives. What happened? When the attackers came, we all took refuge in the Talia Civic Center. Its strong walls and sturdy gate kept us all safe from harm. Had our people been on the street, had they been in our old building, which came under fire during the attack, none of them would be alive. Yeah, if you don't go through with the donations, a lot of people are going to die. We owe you, Talia. More now than ever. You may not look upon yourself as a hero, but to the people of the Kruez Basar, that is what you will always be. Okay. Lane, we haven't talked to you in quite some time. Alexei Lane looks to have endured the attack of the Kruez Basar without injury. You find him surveying the damage with sad eyes. You alright? Charles shakes his heavy head, showing no more weariness than wound. This should have never happened. Not here. It's one thing to strike an old man whose time is done, but to attack the Kruez Basar and endanger the lives of innocent, that is unforgivable. Cowards who ordered this attack will face justice. You have my word. There's a fine line between justice and vengeance, but right now, I don't much care to make a distinction. Do whatever you must. For the Kruez Basar to remain safe, it needs people like you. Let's leave them be. Just a couple more people to talk to, and that'll be that. Hey, Simi! Now, you might not remember this, but way, way back when you told her to be brave in the real world, that is what you need to say to her to ensure that she survives here. In the aftermath of the attack, you are surprised to see Simi Kim has survived, with only a few scrapes and bruises. You saved us. As many as I could. So many more would be gone if you hadn't been here. How did you make it through the attack? Dr. Escabel found me. He picked me up, took me with him. He hid me in a drawer, gave me a blanket, and told me to be quiet. It was so dark, and it smelled, but I didn't make a sound. I heard yelling, things breaking, and gunshots, I think. If I had one of my Sims, I could have just gone inside, but I didn't, so I had to stay out here. I don't know how long it was, but when the drawer opened, it was over. Guess he finally remembered that oath. Kim doesn't seem to understand, but she nods anyways. I'm going to go check on the others. Okay. And last, but certainly not least, let's check in on Dr. Escabel. At this point, he should have a lot more cyberware for us to take care of, or us to peruse, and supplies for us to purchase, and we are most certainly going to purchase them. Talia, Dr. Escabel gives you a once-over and nods. I see that you made it through the attack relatively unscathed. Did you have any run-ins with the attackers? No. Truth be told, I was in Sergio when the attackers hit, and they never disturbed my office. I spent the entire sorry event elbows deep in the abdomen of an elderly dwarf. His nephritic screen needed a tune-up. That's funny. Simi Kim tells a different story. The sound of Simi's name wipes the smile from his face. He stares at you, the color draining from his cheeks. Ah, yes, Kim. I didn't know that you two were acquainted. Why the lie, Doc? You saved her. If anything, I'd think you'd brag about it. It wasn't a lie, not completely. I was working on a patient when the fighting broke out. When I heard the gunshots, I ducked out of my office to find the girl. When I got back, I hid her away and went back into surgery. Thanks to a copious dose of isoflurane and nitrous oxide, my patient was blissfully unaware of the interruption. Simi also said that she heard gunshots and breaking glass. Care to revise your story any further? Esbel's lips tightened in distaste. Please don't call her that. Her name is Kim. And yes, an attacker did break in partway through the operation. He fired his weapon into the wall and shattered some very delicate equipment. And how'd you get rid of him? That will remain my secret. Suffice it to say that my experiences in Spain gave me a newfound appreciation for high lethality security systems. Let your imagination run wild from there. There's a long pause. Escabel tries on another smile, but it falls away quickly. I don't intend to spend any longer on this, Talia. I've already said my piece. I feel a certain level of responsibility for Kim's welfare. Never mind why, so I take care of her as best I can. That's all I intend to say on the subject, so we can talk shop or you can leave. Your choice. Alright, let's get some medical supplies. He has access to Bumona Platinum Trauma Kits, which I will be taking, and Premium Med Kits, which I will also be taking. This is pretty much where a lot of our money is going to be going in the future, now that we have no more equipment to purchase. I'll get into switching this up later. And may as well take a look at his cyberware while we're here. Don't think we're going to get anything. Encephalon, a processor that boosts a user's knowledge-based skill, adds +1 intelligence, muscle augmentation, ortho skin, enhanced augmentation, bright light system, auto-injector bliss, wired reflexes. Let's see, auto-injector. You know, I'm starting to think that maybe I should get a data jack so I can use one of those smart link weapons, but I'm not really sure I need it. Yametsu Cyber Arm, strength and 5 HP, pain editor, Supra High Thyroid. Okay, +1 to all physical attributes, toxin exhaler, synthocardium, eye data jack, a data jack concealed inside of a cyber eye, a favorite of spies and infiltrators, laser designator, Silvertech Cyberarm Basic, induction data jack, platelet factory. Let's see, data jack, Shiwase, bone lacing, Renraku, state-of-the-art Alpha Cyber Eye with magnification enhancement, Ares dermal plating, Universal Omnitech Cyberleg Alpha, okay, Hydraulic Jack MK2 increases running speed for short bursts. Synthocardium MK1 adds technology cyber leg. Hydraulic Jack, vision magnification, Ares dermal plating. I don't know, maybe the vision magnification? Screw it. I've been fine so far without all this fancy cyberware. I'll be fine without it. Well, except for that one I already picked up. But, well, with that, we've pretty much done everything we can. We've checked up with everyone possible at the Kruez Basar, made sure everyone is as okay as they're going to be. Actually, maybe we should talk back with Simi, see what she's got anything to say about Doc Escabel now that we've gotten the truth out of him. Nope. Nothing. And I don't think Stocken Wellenreiter has got anything to say. Nope. Alright, well, as I was saying previously, with that, we pretty much checked in on everyone. Wait, Divine Keller. Nope, nobody's got anything to say? Okay, good. So with that, I'm probably going to have to end things off here for today. I know we went over, but I wanted to go through, check with everyone, get all their supplies and whatnot sorted out, so that we wouldn't have to start with that again next episode and can just go straight into the mission. So, I'm going to end things off here for today. If you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when we upload, or to hit the straw poll link to vote for our next Let's Play, which is currently at 9 votes. 4 for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, 3 for Parade 2017, 1 for Dragon Age Origins Awakening, and 1 for Yakuza 0. And we still have a ways to go, so I'm probably going to keep the straw poll open for a little bit, but it's probably not going to be much longer before I close it off and decide to just end it there so I can get started on audio testing for our next series, be it either Bloodstained or Prey. Unless we get a lot of votes for the other two, I doubt it's going to be Awakening or Yakuza. So, who knows? Anything can change within the next couple of weeks or so. But anyways, if you could also please leave a comment down below this video, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.